Hey, Randleman Ted here. I'm gonna do a video today about a guy that was in Easy Company. If you've ever seen Band of Brothers, you have seen him. His name was Denver Randleman. On the show he was called Bull Randleman, and that was his nickname because he was a larger-than-life person. Literally, he was a big guy. And this was just going to be a little simple thing about a guy that they based a movie character on. And then I discovered some things that made it way more serious to me, and kind of upset me. So this is going to be a little backwards. I'm going to do part of it here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you where he's buried. I'm at Memorial Gardens in Texarkana, Arkansas. And then I'm going to go back to my apartment and talk a little bit about a few things that I saw when I was researching him that really upset me about the way people, especially older people in our world, are treated. So anyway, I'm gonna do the light part first, and after this part, if you wanna turn away and don't want to know anything bad about what happened to Mr. Randleman, then you can stop the video in just a few minutes. If you want to see the rest of it, where I talk about how he was treated in his old age, then stick around. Anyway, Randleman Ted coming at you. There are quite a few people out here, I'm sure, paying respects. Today is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And I guess happy Father's Day to me, because I'm a father and a stepfather. Not the great one, but not the worst one either. So anyway, right down here, if you come straight down the entry road, you actually have to come in the entryway, then go to the left and then straight down. But right here, the grave of Denver Randleman, also known as Bull Randleman. If you've never seen Band of Brothers, my ex-girlfriend Lisa and I were at her brother's house in Knoxville, and this was on like a what would you call it? What do they call that when they show a whole bunch of episodes or something? Anyway, they showed the entire thing in one day, and I absolutely love the show. I loved it so much that we didn't get to see the end of it, so we came back and bought the box set because it was so good, and I watched it several times. He was born November 20th, 1920 in Arkansas, but not here in Texarkana. He entered the war when the war started, and joined Easy Company. He was a paratrooper. His first parachute in action was on D-Day on the beach, and I think it was Omaha Beach. I'll check and make sure, and I'll correct myself. But yeah, he Bronze Star Medal, Purple Heart winner. He saved the lives of many people. He went through things that you or I have never even dreamed of. Quite a guy. He ended up, after the war, came back to Arkansas, because he went to Michigan to enlist, or went to Michigan to live, then enlisted. Came back to Arkansas, and after the war he worked for Riggs Tractor Company, but I don't think he ever worked for Riggs here in Texarkana. I think he worked for Riggs somewhere else. But he retired here in Texarkana and lived out the rest of his life. Michael, I'm going to say Kudlitz is how his name is pronounced. He was the actor that portrayed him in Band of Brothers. Became very close with Denver. As he got to know him, and Denver actually toured around on Band of Brothers tours and met people and stuff. So towards the sunset of his life, he actually got a lot of recognition that I think he was due. You know, he went through some things. And Denver Randleman, I salute you, and happy Father's Day. I don't even know if you were a father, but I'll check and see. But anyway, I was going to do this on Memorial Day, and then when I found out what I found out, that I'm going to talk about a little later, it just didn't seem fitting to me, so I saved it for a little later. Memorial Gardens here is a beautiful cemetery, and there are a lot of people out here right now paying respects to loved ones, so I'm not going to talk too much out here. I came out here today, and my ex-wife's brother and mother and father and grandparents are all buried here, and it's a pretty place. It's pretty peaceful. Show you around a little bit before I head back to my apartment. This cemetery has something a little different that you don't see very often. And it's not very big, but it does have like an above ground small crypt area over here. I guess it's a crypt. I don't know what you call it. I call it a crypt. Let me show you. I'm going to guess this small one here is to hold, cremains, which is becoming more and more popular, I would say. And these are rather large above ground. Kind of different. Since I've moved, I live out by Wake Village, Texas, which is part of Texarkana, really, but I live across from a cemetery with a rather large crypt, an indoor crypt. It's kind of different. It's not a very big thing here in the South where I live for people to have for crypts and things. I'm sure it is other places, and I want to say where I grew up north, there are quite a few more of them. But it's hot today. It's a warm one. It's not super hot, but it's very humid. It's the South, man. It's anywhere in East Texas and around here. Once you get past probably I don't know, 10 miles, 20 miles this side of Dallas, it starts getting ridiculously humid. It's technically a temperate rainforest zone, I believe. Yeah, I almost fell over. That's all right. I'm not drunk, I promise. I just lost my footing a little. All right. I'm going to head back to the car and finish this up in my apartment and talk about some of the things that bother me. Some things that really hit me hard. And I will see you back there. Okay, back at my apartment. Please excuse the noise. You can probably hear the air conditioner, but I am not turning it off because it's hot outside. I haven't really shown you guys around since I got my little recording and TV setup done. So let me show you that real quick. All right, there's my living room. My friend Phoebe absolutely hates the blue and the green together, but I've kind of grown used to it, so I kind of like it, and I'm sticking with it. But this is where I kind of set up my little. Hang on, back over here. Got my TV there. My little recording setup. Got a couple guitars now. I've got too many guitars. My TV, which is of course showing, that's Taylor Dane there, 80s videos, because kind of stuck in that time period. But yeah, that's it. That's my little setup. All right, I'll fill in a few details that I didn't tell you earlier. He was born in Denver Randleman was born in a place called Rector, Arkansas, in Clay County. He was a member of the 101st Airborne Division. He, like I said, he did his first parachute jump on D-Day. The first military in-action parachute jump, I should say. I'm sure he practiced several times. But, interesting guy. But it's what I discovered later. That kind of is hard for me to deal with. Like I said, Denver Randleman was He was traveling around. He was touring with the Band of Brothers tour and going around and meeting a lot of people. A healthy 82-year-old man from everything I've been able to find. On May of 2003, he had what's called an AV graft put in his, I believe, his arm to in anticipation for a surgery that he needed. Now, this man was, according to his doctor, a healthy man. He was discharged on the 12th of May to a nursing home for a 30-day rehabilitation before his surgery, where they were supposed to keep an eye on this wound. His wife, being a senior citizen herself, wasn't able to care for him. He went in on May 12th. They were supposed to look after his surgical wound and make sure it didn't get infected or anything. And according to all their documentation in this nursing, and I'm not going to name the nursing home. I want to, but I won't. You can probably look it up if you want to. It's here in Texarkana. Anyway, he entered on May 12th, and documentation of that day, they said they cared for it. They said there was no problem. On June 16th, he went to see his doctor for a visit. To the doctor's shock and surprise, he came in there. He was incoherent, pale, sickly, and according to the nursing home, the wound that was just fine was red, ruptured, swollen, and extremely tender, infected, where they had not been looking after him at all. They basically had ignored this man, a Purple Heart recipient, a World War II veteran, sat in a nursing home, unable to help him because the people in the nursing home said they did not have the time to look after him properly, which is, knowing what I know about nursing homes and the way they run, that's probably true. I don't necessarily blame the individuals involved. I blame the way everything in our world nowadays is run. Everything's shorthanded. Everything's run on the bare minimum. It's insane what we do. But anyway, it was infected and contained an abscess. His shunt was actually visible through the opening in the wound, so he was in bad shape. He suffered severe deterioration in the nursing home. That wound festered for so long, he had bacteria and stuff in it, and he passed away from it. Now, the nursing home said that, and our wonderful government says this too, apparently, because he was an elderly gentleman, his value to society wasn't that great. In fact, $500,000 is the price they put on a life. He died this is a guy that was active. He was an active man. He was touring around. He was promoting the Band of Brothers stuff. I mean, he was doing a great job, and a year later he was gone because of a preventable infection that was brought on by short staffing. And this is what I have a problem with. In our country, we have this weird habit of placing value on what we can get out of things. So really, what it boils down to is, what's a human life worth? What is a man who sacrificed his best years in his youth in World War II fighting for our country and fighting for the good of the world, as far as I'm concerned? What's his life? Is it worth $500,000? Is that what it's worth? Is it worth $1 million? Can you put a number on a human life? There is enough. It's hard enough just to get old without everyone thinking that you're not worth as much as a younger person because you won't contribute as much to the world. Look, I know a lot of young people that contribute nothing. All right, they live off the backs of others. So don't tell me it's age. This man deserved to be treated like a human being, just like any man does. but instead he was basically stuck in a corner, and allowed to deteriorate. I will say, there's a statue to Mr. Randleman in Little Rock, Arkansas, which is nice. Here in Texarkana, I think they've renamed, or are in the process of renaming, one of the VFW halls for him, which is nice. It's a nice thing they're doing. But what's a life worth, man? What's a human life worth? I don't think we can answer that question. I do know as I get older, I'm 57. I will be 58 years old next week, the 22nd. And 58 is getting close to 60, but I don't feel that old, you know? I don't feel 58. I thought at 58 I'd feel a lot older. But what's the rest of my life worth? You know, if something happens to me, I already go through things with the insurance agency. I had my gallbladder removed a year ago, and it was extremely infected. So they kept me overnight in the hospital to keep an eye on me because the infection was so bad, and they were pumping, you know, antibiotics through my system like crazy. But the insurance company didn't think I needed to stay overnight in the hospital and didn't want to pay for it. Well, I had to fight it, you know. The doctor actually did me a big favor and kind of fought it for me. But I mean, that's insane. Why are we letting insurance agencies decide what people need instead of doctors? What kind of world, man? What have we made for ourselves here, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is it just doesn't seem right that this man was allowed to have a wound that festered and got infected and allowed to pass away because somebody didn't have the time, because they were so short-staffed, to just look at his freaking wound and make sure it wasn't getting infected. Anyway, I'm going to get off this horse. I will beat it to death if nobody stops me, so I have to stop myself because nobody's here. But I appreciate you guys watching all of my videos, and I want to thank you all for being the part of my life that you are. I appreciate you, and try and do a lot happier video next one for you, because this one didn't turn out. It's not what I had hoped to make, but I felt like it was necessary. Anyway, if you don't do anything else today, think about Bull Randleman and some of the other soldiers and people that have sacrificed so much for us. I really wish I would have got this out on that Memorial Day, but it hit me so hard it took me a week to kind of recover from what I found out. But anyway, doing pretty good now, and I've got my cool little apartment here, which I really like. I'm really kind of comfortable here. I like it, and got my little setup here, so hopefully I can produce some good content for you guys. I hate the word content, but that's what it is. Maybe I'll start doing some more music again and stuff too. Anyway, till next time, y'all be good to each other. Treat each other with love and respect and everything. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.